I'll start here in a minute. I'm just letting people get in. That way I don't have to repeat myself 100 times. I also have the cats deciding that they're going to fight just as I start the live stream. You know Sunday's over. In fact, it's Tuesday. Man, damn, the YouTube rees never fucking end. I mean, I keep answering them and then they keep making more fucking bullshit comments. Ow. Yes, since today the Supreme Court came down with their decisions, I have been trolling CNN and MSNBC and listening to the re. It's like shooting fish in a YouTube barrel. Well, hello everyone. How art thee? Well, I'm just here to mess around for the night. Now, that was some of the music that I exclusively use on this channel. I have a interesting YouTube career and I have an entire bank of unique music that I can use on YouTube because I know the creator that makes it. So I can play it as much as I want and never have to worry about getting struck. In fact, I've even taken some pain in the ass YouTubers and took their meltdown and put it to the music, and I've created an entire album for one. Her name's Adrastia. She's a killer. Now, when I started covering Adrastia, I couldn't say definitively Adrastia is a murderer. Her real name's Mary Barone. But now that we got the court transcripts, oh yeah, she's definitely the mastermind of a murder in Florida some years ago. Like I say, on this channel, I tend to hunt big YouTube game. I mean, I get more legitimate death threats on this platform than anyone. Now, feel free to talk and bullshit. I don't really have anything planned. And no one was expecting me, and it's the middle of the night where I'm at. It's 2 a.m. So that's why we're having a Devil's Hour live. So, you know, we're going to talk about what you guys want to talk about. That's how I'm going to run this tonight. Because I've done a couple lives introducing myself. But yes, just throw something out for us to talk about, and we'll talk about it. other than Jesus. Jesus is kind of boring at 3 a.m., just saying. But I mean, 51 people in chat. Anybody got anything you want me to talk about? I mean, I can speak on about any subject, even if it's me telling you what little I know about it. Is everybody shy? I mean, I sit out here on this farm all by myself, and I have a pretty good time by myself. In fact, tomorrow, I've got kind of an interesting live if I can get enough signal. Now, I do it. Well, welcome, UK. Yes, it's morning where you're at. You should be like 5 or 6 in the morning, I'm guessing, depending on where you live in the UK. And here it's 2 a.m. in the past. Oh yeah, Jesus is just as boring as hell. Now, I'm out here in the middle of Kentucky, in the middle of nowhere, and on my property. I hardly see. I saw people today. Think about it. I saw 2 people within the last week. That's unusual for me. I'm not kidding about that either. I mean, I rarely see another human being. But on my property, I've got a few different buildings, and one of them's a giant barn with a giant loft. And I've got a 9 by 27 feet wargaming table. And I have a tiny, shitty wargaming channel that goes nowhere. So tomorrow, if I can get signal, I'm going to go out there and set up a war game on this channel. Well, I'm not quite outside. I'm in my trailer home. But if I would go like 12 feet and open a window, I could be outside anytime that I want. Yep. But the thing is when you get outside, there's nothing much around but a farm. Now, once again, when I go outside here, that pistol has to go with me. Because where I live, you can run into bears. Yes, we have bears. We have mountain lions. Now, a mountain lion isn't generally going to attack someone my size, but anybody 5 foot and under around here is mountain lion prey. So, that's something we have to keep track of here. Now, due to the fact of people suck, we have coyotes here. But the big, gigantic Rottweiler type dog? The coyotes have bred with those, creating something brand new. And they are like black wolves. And that's another reason why we have to have a bang bang whenever we go outside. Now, today it got up to 70 Fahrenheit. And that means in the next few days we will have 3 species of poisonous snakes that will start coming out of their holes. So that's the other reason why we have to carry around the bang bang whenever we go outside. Well, this is the Devil Hours Live, because generally 3 a.m. is supposed to be the devil's hour. And I plan on this being about a 3-hour live depending on battery strength. So, we'll be going through the 3 a.m. hour with just bullshitting and getting to know people. And me marveling at how dumb certain people are on the internet. Now, once again, there's people that hate me to no end on the internet. One of them took a picture of me today from my earlier live and distorted it, trying to claim that I'm some sort of huge Leviathan. And the funny thing is the shirt has like a word that goes across it, and instead of it going a word across, it goes like straight down the shirt from where they tried to alter the image. Well, actually, there's no topic. I'm letting you guys pick what you want me to talk about. Once again, I generally talk about drama or other shit, and I actually have several channels doing a variety of shit. Now, I got one that I talk about real world shit on, and my cat gets more views. That's one of my jokes. You know, I like to poke at other YouTubers by saying my cat gets more views than you. You know, when the serious subject of the world, the channel I do that on, nobody cares. They'd rather hear me sit and talk about poo-poo words and the dumb shit that happens around here and in my life. Well, I am Roger Brown. Now, I am the most famous Roger Brown in the world. In fact, Google suppresses me. Because if you punch in Roger Brown in YouTube, I'm going to come to the top. But when Google decided to shadow ban and what they called authoritative sources, you know, if you punch me in on Google, it's like I don't even exist. You know, as I said, I am the most famous Roger Brown currently alive, and Google can't fucking handle it. So they have basically unpersoned me, which I kind of think's funny. Because they're worried about some Ivy League professor named Roger Brown and some dead basketball player. Because you can't even find them at this point on YouTube. And I think that's funny. Now, this is Caiaphas. He's a Manx. He has no tail. Now, he looks like a big cat, and he is. And he's only 10 months old. He is going to be a massive cat. Now, for you guys don't know me yet, but I have a farm and I have like over a dozen cats. Now, his mother is a sweet kitty that loves to do YouTube with me. And I have too many cats and want less cats. Now, the mother is in heat. And she snuck out on me today. And I got to chase my kitty in heat. And the first thing she did was ran to 2 feral cats and ran under the fucking house with them. I caught her, but not before she got nailed by 2 random ferals. Now, I'm admitting this because I have a problem. My cat is a slut. Yes, I have a kitty problem. My kitty is a fucking tramp. Now, most cats girl cats don't seek out male companionship. My little tiny summer cat, she'll drag the male companionship under the house if she has to. Well, see, Jack, it's easier said than done. You see, I have seizures. I don't drive anywhere. All my family is dead. And the nearest vet is about an hour's drive away. And you know what? There ain't a motherfucker that helps me in this world. The only store I have access to is a Dollar General. I get all of my food and all of my pets' food by taking a pack, putting it on my back, marching to the store, miles, and carrying it back. Because people are piles of garbage. And that's why the kitty is not fixed. Just say it. Well, I appreciate that, Jack. There are good people, you know. You know, that's kind of why I'm here. You know, I know that most people are not good people, and I know most people are garbage. But the reason why I still do YouTube is for the decent human beings. And I never mind an honest question. Like I say, I get badgered here a lot, but I never begrudge anyone an honest question. And I try to give just as honest answers as I can. Now, if somebody's being an asshole, I can one-up them on being an asshole, and it's usually pretty funny. But yes, out here it's just that way. Last year, I had to walk 36 miles to pay my taxes. That sucked. Just to tell you right now. I don't know how many that is in kilometers. And I don't want to know. Actually, I can figure it out, damn. Because 12 miles is 20 kilometers. So yeah, oh man. So yeah, I had to march just over 60 kilometers to pay my taxes last year. And maybe 3,000 people passed me on the giant march, and not one human being offered the disabled man a ride. Well, you just scrolled up. Now, once again, I'm an interesting YouTuber, and I have adventures across YouTube, and subscribe if you feel like it. Now, I don't monetize any of my channels, because that way that money is never a motivation for anything that I do or say. You generally get unfiltered Roger. I might tone down my language just a little bit. Take out a few four-letter words here and there, but, other than that, you get unfiltered Roger. I come from the 20th century. I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I didn't always live in Kentucky. And that's one of the reasons why no one around here will help me, because I don't talk like they do. I'm one of them outsiders. So, that is what it is. But, anybody throw out a topic or anything and we'll bullshit about it. Other than that, I'm just going to ramble on. I'm in no hurry. Got nothing to do. On weekends, I'm going to start having some organized streams and actually doing some shit that might be of interest to some people. As I say, I get more legitimate death threats than anyone on YouTube. And in fact, we almost had a gunfight here with another YouTuber last May. And this is Caiaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium. He's named after a Warhammer 40k character. And evidently he decided that he needed to be in my arms. Because you just saw him come up here and flop his butt in my arms. Like I said, my kitties are characters on this channel. Like I say, you did not see me reach out and grab the kitty. You did not say, kitty, come here. My arms were just there and he kind of jumped in them. Well, actually, Jack, the thing is, okay, we will talk about the World Economic Forum. But now I have to craft how to do it within terms of service. Well, let's go to horror movie quotes. Evil has a face, and that face looks like Klaus Schwab. Now, the thing is Klaus Schwab can say that stuff while he's around armed guards. Now, the only thing that stops Klaus Schwab and the rest of them are 330 million Americans with about 1 billion guns. And that's the only thing that stops people like Klaus Schwab from having you in the pod and eating bugs. Well, I'm going to think of a way to say this within terms of service about Bill Gates. He's another one that he could not come around here without armed guards. Let's put it that way. And he would have to have really, really good armed guards. Now, I live in Kentucky, and there's some interesting fun facts about Kentucky. Kentucky has the largest cavern system on the planet. Mammoth Cave. They've made it into a park. But yes, you know, where people think of Afghanistan or some of the other exotic locations in the world, the largest caverns on Earth are in Kentucky. Well, yes, he is. I mean, you know, they don't like to talk about it, but, you know, the Nazis got a lot of their ideology from 1920s Americans. You know, that's the big thing that they like to kind of try to erase from history. But, you know, a lot of those horrible, horrible ideas that the Third Reich beheld came from the United States of America. You know, in the 1920s, you know, America had a large eugenicist movement. And Margaret Sanger was one of the heads. And where I used to live in Cincinnati, that was the abortion clinic's name, was the Margaret Sanger Clinic. Okay, let's not knock this over, honey. Now, this is stuff that I would talk about normally on my channel where I talk, get down, honey, where I talk about real world stuff. Like I say, that's the kind of thing I would talk about there. I mean, it's evil shit. Now, what the people like Klaus and company don't think about is you just keep ratcheting up the pressure, and at some time you get a corresponding burst. Now, once again, they will try to make war to control this burst. Because if they have you dying in a trench somewhere, then they really don't have to worry about you making rebellion. You know, and that's the way it is. Now, that's one reason why I like to live where I do, because there's an element of freedom. Now, I have no local government. You know, where I live around here, there's a county government, and I pay property taxes to the county, but I have no local anything. Nope. There's no local town. There's no local law enforcement. I mean, the nearest cop's about an hour away. Here you pretty much got to take care of yourself. Now, in our Constitution, state Constitution, everyone over a certain age can carry a firearm as long as you're not a felon. So, you know, that's one interesting thing that where I live. Now, if I run into a cop, I'm legally bound. The first thing I tell him is, I have my sidearm with me. Now, if I don't tell the cop I've got my sidearm with me, then I have broken the law and I could be taken to jail. But that's the one requirement if you're carrying around your firearm here. If you contact with a cop, the first thing you have to tell him is I have my personal sidearm on me. And then you're golden. And then you just continue your talk on with the cop all normal like. You know, so that's kind of the good thing here, and things tend to be cheaper here. Now, we don't have water problems here. I get all my water free from a spring. You know, so there's never a drought here in the hills. Just saying, because there's always a spring with water. You can walk around and pick up coal here and there. Yep. Well, that's good, Jack, because once again, the junk that they put in the water, it's like they put fluoride in the water. Well, when it's a gas, it breaks down into fluorine. And fluorine's a poison. I knew this as a kid when they started putting in the water. I went to a good school. And from that moment, I tried to avoid the water supply whenever I could. Well, yeah, the things are getting worse, but it is what it is. That's why I don't, as I mentioned earlier, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, but this is why I live in Kentucky. And this is why I have a farm. Because as soon as it stops being freezing overnights, first thing I'm going to do is start planting potatoes. I've got a mattock, and I'm going to start planting potatoes. I'm going to start planting tomatoes. I'm going to start planting cucumbers. Yep. And I don't know, it'll probably be a drought year, so I better not try any lettuce. But yeah, I can make my own pickles. I can make my own cucumber salad. Now, wild green onions grow around here all over. And pretty soon they'll be all over and you'll be able to pick them up right out of the ground wherever you go. Well, I got to grow up in both places because my family always owned a farm and I always used to have to work on it. And I used to have to go to Kentucky every summer and work on the damn farm. Now, I've just got a small 20-acre place to myself that I bought, so I don't really have that much to take care of. Now, used to be I would just grow grass for cattle, but since everything has decided to go astronomical, every year I've been putting out more food. I have blackberry vines. I have like 3 different types of apples. I have 2 different types of pears. I have peaches. I have about 100 black walnut trees on my property. I've got a giant pond with fish in it. I got one of the best places around here to fish. My pond is big. It's even got a small island in it to where birds can go over and nest. And once again, I can get eggs from the local bird population. And I also have a grape arbor. I do a lot of foraging and living off the land. If you subscribe and look onto my channel, you can look back on my videos and you can see the piece of the deer that I got in October. I don't know, Jack. Like I say, out here, I don't really interact much with the world. My TV, I don't even keep an outside signal on it. I got this iPhone here for the weather whenever I need it. Hello, KW. I didn't see you come in. Right now, it's 57 Fahrenheit. And clear. At sunrise, it'll be 57 Fahrenheit. It's really unusually warm compared to what it usually is this time of year. And then the day after on Wednesday is going to be 63 Fahrenheit with a 60% chance of rain. It's fucking gorgeous weather here. Now, this would probably freak some of you out, but where I live, you can't buy alcohol. Nope. All of our local stores, not a single one of them sells alcohol. Because locally, there's still prohibition. I know it kind of freaks some people out that, in Or they'll go into one of our stores and someone will be passing through, and then they'll keep looking in the case and they'll not find beer anywhere. Well, it is what it is, but I don't drink. I have seizures and I smoke pot for it. Now, I usually don't smoke pot on YouTube, but if I've been having seizures, you will see me hit this pipe every now and then because it helps me out. It helps prevent the seizures. Oh, and I hate seizures. Now, I've not had a seizure on YouTube. When I started having seizures, the first thing I thought, I didn't want anyone to see me have seizures. And then eventually someone, of course, saw me have a seizure. Then I thought, well, you know what? I don't want to have a seizure in Walmart. And then I guess about 2019, I had a seizure in Walmart. That was one of the top 10 sucks of my life. Now, after that, I said, I don't want to have a seizure on YouTube. And so far, fortunately, over the years, I've never had a seizure on YouTube. Now, it's just not very active tonight. I mean, usually it's pretty active this time of night. But, but if anybody's got anything else they really want to talk about, I mean, I will bullshit about anything. Well, Jack, you're the only one with the guts here to talk. Yep, I mean, you're the only one that's man or woman enough to speak and interact. I mean, I'm good with talking with anyone. Like I say, I'm an interesting personality. I've co-hosted with some other larger YouTubers, and I have some planned co-hosting gigs coming up in the future. World Economic Forum. Oh, you want to talk about economy? Well, I'll kind of let you in on a little thing about it all. They're planning on crashing the system. You see, the U.S. owes $28 trillion. But if they inflate the economy 4 times over, then you divide that 28 by 4. And then they're only going to pay $7 trillion back in worth. And all of the loss in that is going to be absorbed by you and me. And what it's going to do, it's going to mean the rich people are going to be fine. And everything's going to look like fucking Brazil. You're going to have your rich over here, and you're going to have armed guards and guns on one side, guarding the rich people, and you're going to have slums over here. And San Francisco has already started to become that. And once again, this is why I moved out of the large city I grew up in, and I came to the country, because I'm going to eat. Sorry about everyone else's luck. Hello, Take Today. Well, I'm sorry to hear it, Take Today. I really am. Now, I'll have some bad news about that, because now, when I started having seizures, I wasn't smoking pot. They were really bad, and they were really violent. Now, a girl up the road who has seizures, she told me to start smoking pot, and I did. And now they're trembling with more like a McConnell lockup rather than me all over hurting myself. Now, I got disability, but the girl that had seizures, she still to this day does not have disability, because the government is prejudiced as hell to girls when they start having seizures. So that's my bad news. you are going to find that she's going to have difficulty getting help everywhere. Because what the government wants you to do as a girl, they just want you to attach to a man. Those itches. That here. But this is basically what that girl has to do. Is go from boyfriend to be supported. Because the government basically left her to die. Like I said, it's very prejudicial with women that have seizures. Well, you could oil me up if you like. Just saying. Well, yeah, take today. I mean, when I started having seizures, all the people that used to come see me stopped. You know, that's just the way people are. It was uncomfortable in their life, and they would rather not have worried about it. So I just got cut out of life. So, but, you know, like I say, it tends to be worse for a girl. Because they can't even get government disabilities usually for it. In fact, my seizures are not a part even of my disability. My disability is for complex PTSD. And the seizures are more debilitating than the complex post-traumatic stress disorder. But like I say, for a girl, they'll rarely, if ever, give a disability. Well, take today they haven't. I mean, it's been many years now. And like I say, all the people that were in my life are not in my life because that's the way they wanted it. Don't knock it over, honey. This is Summer's boy. You're right, honey. Him good little boy. But we can't knock over the camera. No, we can't knock over the camera. Now, I'm going to tell on your mommy. Now, Summer got out today and got hit by, well, I shouldn't say hit. She got nailed by 2 male wildcats. So I'm hoping she's not pregnant. She ran out under my feet, ran away from me, ran under the house with 2 boys, and did her thing. I mean, she's even trying to hit on her boy right here. And he's scared to death of her. Because normally Summer beats the crap out of him. Oh, don't do it, doesn't he? If you spend my check, you get hidden. She said. But yes, he's a Manx. He has no tail. As you can see, and he's 10 months old. You know, despite the size, he is still a baby. He's going to grow for the next 3 years. His father is massive. His father's comes from a line of huge fucking cats. So this cat is going to be immense. And he is the sweetest little baby that ever existed. And he's afraid of his mother. Because his mother is tiny and mean. And he looks like a boy version of his mommy. Don't we, honey? Says, yes, I do. Yes, over with it. I'm Caiaphas. You're a good boy. Now, the other cats are in here, but I've got the door shut because, as I mentioned before, Summer is a mean ass. And we were having cat fights. Now, get off my shelf, honey. No, baby. You're a good boy. No shelf. No shelf. Hello, Ronnie. Just a minute, I must reprimand my kitty again. Honey, get off the shelf, honey. There's nothing there. That's just my bag of garbage. You don't need in the bag of garbage. Now, I had thawed out a thing of hamburger in that plastic bag I've got garbage in, so he probably smells the blood. Now, when I killed that deer in October, he was a lot smaller. And he got to eat a part of the deer. So he smells blood, and he's like, is there deer in that bag? No, there's not deer in the bag, honey. It's just garbage. Like I said, he's a really good boy. But yeah, we're just doing random topics. Anything you guys want to talk about, just throw out to me. Like I say, I spent all day chasing my summer cat. And fortunately, if she gets pregnant, she's not related to them, so it is what it is. Oh, man. Now, it would have been funny if I would have had it on film, you know, if I'd had like a video running, she ran out under my feet and she just ran straight around the house, found her two boys as quick as she could, and all of them ran under the house. Oh, man. I'm still shaking my head because I don't need any more kittens. In fact, I can hear Summer meowing in the other room. And she's calling for a boy. And all the boys are outside but Caiaphas, which is why I shut the door and brought him in here. He can stream with me and stay away from his slut of a mother. I'll put him out before I go to bed. But yeah, anything you want to talk about, I mean, just throw something out there and we'll talk about it. You know, don't have much to talk about drama-wise other than there's a bunch of psycho menopausal women that are trying to shame me or link me to Truthfully Tricia when she and I are not romantically linked in any way. I mean, I'm just a mod on her channel and we're YouTube friends. You coming back, honey? I keep getting cat hair in my nose. Now, to taunt them, I did put a picture of Trisha on my screensaver. I do that to taunt them with videos. So, this is Truthfully Tricia. I'm a mod on her channel. Her channel's got just over 50,000 subscribers, and I'm there a good part of the time when she's live. Moderating the chat, making jokes, generally being an ass. And I still have cat hair in my nose. Well, we don't have a local Denny's anymore, and I don't go to fast food restaurants. And you look like a cyan H. Yep. Now see, this is a kind of a YouTube thing. If someone doesn't even have a picture on their account and they insult you, whatever. Because from my point of view, you know, I can just picture you with like a keyboard grown in your belly and like a cyclops eye sticking up there, and you're about that far from the computer screen, and you've already done all of your dailies in World of Warcraft, and you're just waiting for the next 15 minutes for them to reset so you can do the dailies for another 23 hours. Oh, man. Now, see, this is the other thing I do is I say cunty words about people on YouTube when I do it. Now, once again, I don't say bad words unless I have to, but once again, I cover a lot of nasty people on YouTube in the drama community, and I say really, really funny shit about them. Yes, I do, because that is one of my skills. I can act as well as I am good with comedy. And I've got to move this knee because age is fucking catching up with me. And how many times have I told you to get off this shelf? Don't make me put you in the room with your mother. She's a maniac. She'll beat the crap out of you. Like I say, he's only 10 months old. Dude, I mean, and he's single fucking minded. Anybody want a cat? Anybody want a kitty? Anybody want a kitty? Dude, do me a favor. Just stop with the shelf thing, man. Stop with the shelf. Well, hello, Big Money. Actually, Lena, we're just getting to know each other. I am a drama YouTuber, and I do a variety of things on several channels. I have a wargaming channel. I have a channel I tell stories on. I have a channel I talk about real-life bullshit. I have a vlog channel, but this one is my largest channel. This is my drama channel. This is the channel to where I fight other YouTubers with. In fact, I'm getting ready for a new campaign. There is a large YouTuber that's very, very sensitive, and I'm going to say nasty shit to upset him. That all is true. Ow, claws. And he's probably going to try to strike my channel. Now, I believe his channel's name is Soft White Underbelly. And he goes around exploiting, shall we say, vulnerable people for views, promising to help them and don't. Now see, when I cover the drama community, I cover dangerous people or people out doing dangerous things, or things that could hurt people. And I also am an ass doing it. Now, where I live, one of the favorite things they do on YouTube when they get your address is call the police and say that you murdered everyone. Well, where I live in Kentucky, they call the police and they try to say I did something horrible to try to get the police to come in here and shoot me. Now, my police do not SWAT. This is a unique thing around here to where normally the monkeys in blue run around and do whatever they're told by whatever idiot calls them. But not where I live. No, 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 no. Yes, they call to try to have me killed on a regular basis, and the cops never come. Actually, Jack, I don't drink. No, I do not. Nope. Now, out here living alone, I just kind of sleep when I feel like it. I don't even have to keep regular hours. Nope. Like I say, my family's all dead. I'm disabled. I don't have to work. Like I say, I just do my YouTube and do my exercise, and that's about it. And farm. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And for that, the government gives me just under $1,000 a month to live on. Now, fortunately for me, I have the cheapest electric in the United States of America. Actually, Lena, I am 55 years old, and I have never been married. Now, my romantic adventures on YouTube have been content on this channel, and let's just say the romantic adventures were interesting, but they really didn't work out well. put it that way. Because the women were crazy. Now, it was kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears of crazy. One was absolutely, totally batshit crazy. And the second one was only like half batshit crazy. Now, the third one was only a little batshit crazy, but with commonality was the batshit crazy, so none of the relationships worked out. No, Love Always, this is not Sam Kinison. In fact, Love Always, you know me. Yes, because we used to hang out in Weon's chat. I am Roger Brown Reacts, and you have found my channel on YouTube and my current live stream. And will you please get out of my garbage cat? This is Cactus, my garbage cat. He's a Manx. He has no tail. He's 10 months old. For the people that just came in. Well, yeah, I mean, you should see his mother. I mean, she's tiny and sweet, and she's evil to all the other cats. But yes, I got like a dozen cats out here on the farm, and I'm pretty good with them. But I have him in here because his mother's in heat in the other room. So I got to keep the two of them separated. Oh yeah, this is a boy. Him's still a baby. He's only 10 months old. He's going to grow for the next few years. As you can see, he's just barely started to get a set. I mean, he's still basically a baby. He's not even started to think about girls yet. He's going to be gigantic. Aren't you, honey? See, I'm going to be gigantic. And he's my big fucking baby. I have 20 acres on the farm, and he came in because while I was outside, he basically ran up to me and jumped onto me, and I had to carry him in. Well, that's good. I don't do meth. Now, I have before a long time ago, and I'm one of the few people around here that's not addicted to meth. Yes, out here in the hills of Kentucky, I am one of the few people that are not addicted to anything. Well, I have a whole bunch of male cats outside, and they're beautiful, and the common thing, they're all gigantic. Now, his mother's tiny. His mother is tiny as tiny can be. It's just the boys that she's breeding with, I mean, they're gigantic. Because out here in Kentucky, you know, most of them came from a feral stock. So, like I say, they're pretty big. They're bigger than, ow, they're bigger than most cats. You grabbed me. Now, like I say, you see what he does. This is what me and him do here. He just sits here and plays and loves, and I'm the jungle gym. You see, he just jumps up here, and I got him just laying across an arm. I was going to talk about some stuff, but he wants to be the center of attention. Normally, his mother is the one that does the show on YouTube, but I guess he's decided that it's his turn. I can feel where he's been hit in the face a few times today. But he was, now there's a few other cats about his age outside, and he was roughhousing with them today. So somebody's kicked him in the face. I can feel where the little pock marks are from the claws. I only smoke marijuana because I have seizures. Now, where I live in Kentucky, the weed is cheaper than you get, and it's also better quality. Because most people don't know this, but despite it not being legal, it is the biggest cash crop in Kentucky. And so, that's generally something easy to get around here is weed. Well, the thing is around here, rent is fairly more than you would think. But buying an acre of land is only $2,000. You can get an acre lot here for $2,000. You can get a refurbished trailer pretty cheap. Then you have to put a septic system in. So you can actually get your own home here fairly cheap. Now, the place I'm in here, I bought this brand new. And for 3-bedroom, 2-bath, central air, central heat, surround sound, and all appliances was $46,640 for a brand new place. Now, once again, someone could get a refurbished place for just a part of that. Now, once again, where I talked about the septic system, my dad was a smart guy, and he taught me a trick. You go to a place that they had a trailer in, and you say, I will give you $500 for the septic system. Because, once again, when they move a trailer, they don't move out the old septic system. So you could actually buy it real cheap, have someone dig it up, and for $1,000, you can get your septic system set up. So someone with a refurbished trailer and an acre of land could have their own home here for under $10,000 American. Well, this is something, I've got an acre of woods, and I live on a hill. Now, a part of my woods, the hill starts to slope. So I'm thinking about building a hobbit-like hole. I think I got a picture of. Well, I thought I had a picture of it on this phone. I was going to show you what I'm going to build, but evidently it was a different device. Now, where I have seizures, sometimes I will mix things up, and that's what I think I'm doing here. But oh well, but yes, I'm going to build my own version of a hobbit hole into the side of a hill. Well, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and from 18 to 28 years old, I lived in a basement. I bought this farm in '96. The 20 acres I got for $30,000. Ow, little kitty. Oh, honey, claws, please. But you see, around here, when a farm family's patriarch passes, there's a whole bunch of children. And most of them are addicted and they want their money. So they will quickly sell the farm at auction and split the money. And that's why land is so cheap here. Because these farms get broke up. I have 20 acres of the original 59 acres of a farm. And I got the big part of it. The other spots were like 10 acres each. And a few of them that was just a couple acres. But that's why the land is so cheap here. Because they break up the farms for sale. Actually, I am pagan. I am not a Christian, which saves me a lot of trouble. Now, once again, it doesn't help me in the community because I live in the Bible Belt USA and I'm not a Christian. So that does hurt my life a little bit. Now, I'm not a Christian. God and I particularly do not get along. All my family is dead. I buried my entire family. Now, I ended up having to be the caregiver for my mother, and that's why I never ended up marrying. Because for like a dozen years of when people normally would fall in love and get married, I was busy having to be a caregiver. And then she passed on, and within 4 years, I started having seizures. I was just getting my life back together after my mother passed. You know, I was working at least a job or odd job here and there. As I mentioned, most people around here are drug addicted, so there isn't a lot of people that will pick up odd jobs. So, and when I could drive before seizures, that's what I did. I'd get up every morning, go down to town, and if anybody had any work, that's what I did. And I was living pretty good that way until I started having seizures. And then my life went boom. Now, the thing is, though, is there's a lot of Christians around me, but they really don't act like Christians, just putting it that way. Well, she's entitled to her opinion. She's worried about my immortal soul. Now, you see, as I said, I used to have a large family. Within like 15 years, I buried them all. And when I was born with 2 mutations and a birth defect. And I had to have a number of surgeries as a baby. These surgeries have left me with pain throughout my entire life. So that's one of the reasons why that God and I do not get along. I mean, I really did not get much mercy throughout my entire life. And because of it all, and the fact is, you know, like I say, all Christians are not bad, but the ones that were in my life, they were. And I just do not have much to do with religion. Now, with my being a pagan, I have to keep my oaths. And that's pretty much it. Well, I thought hard about God, and I don't think that God is good. I don't think that he's per se evil either. But I think God is in it for God. And when I look around the world, it kind of makes everything make sense. Now, am I right? I do not know. You know, once again, you know, with what I just said to you, am I right? I do not know. And that's about all I really have to say about religion. Well, I studied all religions, and there's an interesting thing. Now, the Celts, who mainly were the ones that converted to Christianity, the Celtic gods believed that the gods fed off of human suffering. And that's one reason why the Celtic tribes accepted Jesus. Because the Celtic gods were pretty brutal. You know, the best blessing that I got was the deer that I took down in October. I mean, I'd been doing a lot of starving. Now, when I had seizures, as I mentioned, the people of my life went poof. Before I got my disability, I lived 2 years in a barn, starving. I mean, I looked like a human fucking skeleton. And no one helped me. Now, I got promises again and again. Now, the neighboring county, my family helped build it. And a church that was in it would not give me food because I lived 1 mile outside of the county. Those good Christian people. Now, another interesting fun fact is our food pantry was called God's Food Pantry. And it's supposed to be religious based. Now, for 2 years, they denied me food because I didn't have an electric bill. They make you have your certain pieces of paper, but one of them was an electric bill. And because I had no electric service, they wouldn't give me food. God's Food Pantry. So, that's another thing that, I kind of hold against religion. Then, what was it? November 2017. I got my disability. I got the lights on here again. On that month. Now, you had to go to the pantry and sign up for what they called a Christmas box. So I could have food on Christmas. Now, when I went to try to get my food box, they would not give it to me because I didn't have that electric bill. Because I just got my electric turned on again. And I talked to the electric company, and they said, we can't give you anything because this is auto-generated by computer. Because I wanted to get something from them that I could take to the pantry so I could get some food for Christmas. And God's Food Pantry, because I could not get this, would not give me food for Christmas. God would not give me food on Christmas. So yeah, I do hold that against, religion also. And I don't even go to that food pantry. I don't go to any food pantry. I'll live what off I make, and I'll live off what I grow. And the rest of the world can go to hell for all I care. So that's why I've got a mattock. And as soon as it's going to be above freezing every night, the first thing I'm going to go out there is help myself and start planting potatoes. And then I'm going to also make myself a root cellar. I've got some rock, and I'm going to start digging, and I'm going to line it with that rock, and I'm going to get a place where I can keep potatoes fresh. And it's going to be a lot of digging. There's going to be a lot of digging on this farm this year, let's put it that way. It is what it is. But but once again, it might be a bit of a wild area, but I'm safer than most people around here anyway. Put it that way. Well, Jack, it's always good to have. Now, I grew up with them. I got my first firearm at 6 years old. Now, where I had to come down here and spend the summers, my grandfather, you'd be a little kid, and you'd say, I'm hungry. And you know what he'd do? He'd hand you a bag, and a 22 caliber rifle, and he'd say, "Go fill it with squirrels." I'm not kidding. And this was the 1970s. And little Roger would have to take the rifle, and he would have to take the bag, and I'd have to shoot the little squirrels dancing around the trees, and fill the bag up, and bring it back to the grandfather, where then he would skin them and cook the squirrels. Or my other option was not to eat. So, I'm a really, really good shot. Well, around here, there's going to be a lot. Now, I generally don't hunt much. In fact, I just started hunting again in the last year, and my only victim so far was fucking Bambi. Not Bambi's mother, Bambi. If Bambi's mother was there, I would have got Bambi's mother. But being as hungry as I was, I shot Bambi. And then I had my neighbor skin Bambi, chop Bambi in half, and he got the front half of Bambi, and I got the back half of Bambi. And I ate Bambi for October. And oh my God, was Bambi good. I mean, seriously, I would take the meat and put it in a big crock pot and just keep cooking it, and it would just fall apart, and throw in some potatoes and throw in a little bit of corn, make a stew out of it. And I've just made myself hungry, and makes me want to shoot Bambi, let's put it that way. Now, once again, I would rather not hunt squirrels. Squirrels do not have much meat on them, and for what you get out of them, it's like squirrels and rabbits. I mean, we can hunt them, we can survive off of them, but you know, I'd like something with a little more meat on it. Now, down here in Kentucky, we're allowed to take 1 deer a year. And I got mine for this year. So, you know, I've only taken the one legally, and I don't get no more legally, put it that way. Actually, Jack, I mean, you may feel that way for a moment, but after you start eating it, it's a lot better. Now, I do have to say that I got pretty good at butchering Bambi. Because, you know, I'm a better hunter than I am a butcher, but you know, I did make some nice steaks out of Bambi. And Caiaphas over here, you know, that was months ago, and, you know, he was a little guy. You know, he's like 10 months old now, so let me see, that had been October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, I mean, he was like 6 months old. So, you know, he was fucking like this big at the time, and, you know, he'd have a piece of deer that was bigger than him. Well, what sucks is my pond's probably got about 15,000 fish in it. But where I have seizures, I can't get near the water. I have an unlimited supply of fish, but I can't fish in it because if I have a seizure next to the pond, I'm going to fall in it and fucking drown. Ironic, isn't it? That I made a place to have an unlimited meat source. And it's basically kryptonite to me. Now, when someone else is here, I can go down there and fish. So, you know, when I have guests on the property that come fish, you know, I can get some fish out of the pond. But if I didn't have seizures, I could fish and get meat out of there every day if I wanted to. Because I would much rather kill a fish than any other animal. Just put it that way. But, that's one of the ironic things of my life. And now and then when people are around here, I'll have live streams near the pond while we're fishing. I kind of set my Wi-Fi on my property so I can get maximum Wi-Fi range. And if the weather's just right, I can get Wi-Fi at the pond where we fish. But that's not all the time. Well, Muck Boys, now, I had a subscriber get really upset one time because where I live so wild, he wanted to ask me about Bigfoot, and I had to tell him I have never seen a Bigfoot. I don't know anyone that has seen a Bigfoot, and there's nothing out here that I have heard that I cannot explain what it was. Now, I live near Daniel Boone National Forest, and it's bigger than some European countries. You know, the small European countries? Daniel Boone National Forest is bigger than most of the small European countries. And my mother was born in that forest. Now, it's another interesting thing. My mother was born in Hazard, Kentucky. No shit. Now, you see, there is no Hazard County. There is a town named Hazard. Hazard, Kentucky is actually in Perry County, Kentucky. Oh, yes. This is where you're at right now. You're in Kentucky. Now, if you go subscribe to the channel and go to my live from this morning, I was outside doing a live, and I was panning now and again, showing the Kentucky hills. And sometime in the next few days, we're going to have some nice weather, and I'll be outside doing a live again. And matter of fact, most of the good months of the year, most of my lives will be outside, except at night, where I will be inside. Because, if I... it'll all be black. It'll all look like that, black, if I, go outside and do a live at this hour. Yes, I do. I do smoke marijuana. Just saying. Just saying. I'm... Smooth. Yeah, I think I do smoke pot. Well, my first hit of weed was over 40 years ago. I mean, when I was a young one, I used to get high with real hippies. Now, another thing that was cool was hippie chicks. I mean, when I grew up, it was easy to get intimacy, let's just say. Because most of the hippie chicks were in their 20s and their 30s when I was a teenager. Now, let me see. I was born the 3rd. A month and 13 days. No, it would be a month and 15 days after I turned 16. I was a father. Now, she ended up running off with my best friend and took my daughter with her. But yes, I love hippie chicks. Now, of course, they're too old to be any fun now, but, I remember when there was no such thing as AIDS. No, Muck Boys, you got it completely wrong. They usually smelled like patchouli because many of them would use patchouli oil or jasmine oil or some other essential oil. Well, it was a good time. I mean, a concert, you could go to a concert for like $7 or $8. And that would probably be like $20 now. I mean, there was always a show. You know, where I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, I mean, there was always a show somewhere on a weekend if you wanted to go. I mean, I saw all of the big music acts back in the day, and I used to sell them weed. So, you know, I got to meet a lot of the 1980s and 90s musicians because I was their weed connection when they came in Cincinnati. No, I don't smoke crack. I don't just gotta blow my nose. I love my kitties, but as I'm getting older, I'm getting allergic to them. The only thing I do is I smoke weed. And that's about it. But yeah, like I said, now the biggest star I think I got high with was Lemmy from Motorhead. You know, how I got to start selling bands weed. I used to sell weed. Now, there was this one little nerd kid. I won't go his last name, but his first name was Nick. And he used to go to this record store. And he would badger the hell out of the owner. Well, the owner, besides owning the record store, he was also a concert promoter. Now, that little nerd, Nick, he was taking my weed and taking it and selling it to him. And he's like, where did you get this weed at? And that's how I got hooked up with him. And so, yes, I mean, when the big bands would come through Cincinnati during the 80s and the early 90s, the first half of the 90s, you know, I would be the guy selling them their marijuana if they wanted it. I'm not gay. Well, last year we're allowed to grow a few plants, and I grew what I was legally allowed. Now, my friends are all drug dealers. Now, I do know some marijuana growers, and I get my weed at a rate that you could not imagine. I mean, I laugh at people that go to dispensaries because my price is a whole lot cheaper than any dispensary for the same kind of weed. Stephen, this is Kentucky. I mean, we're allowed to grow a few plants here, and I do that. And as I mentioned, you know, I have seizures. I'm allowed to smoke. Yes. Now, they have medical marijuana in Kentucky, but you're not allowed to buy it through a dispensary yet. So you have to get it however you can get it. Weed is psychologically addictive. And that's about it. Love is addictive too. And I keep running into these women that are kind of like addicted to love. Now, those women were a whole lot more destructive than the weed. Just saying. Well, yeah, Johnny, I mean, without weed, I can be a total asshole. Just saying, I mean, the world needs a good lubricant, and weed makes a good lubricant to the world. It makes us all a lot more tolerable. I hate to tell you this, dude, but nobody gets to attack other people in the chat. See, this channel, it's easy and hard to get banned all at the same time. Someone just had to learn. No, you don't go around in my chat and start attacking the other chatters because you just get hidden. That's just how it has to be. You know, I have like one mod on this channel because I usually like to do it myself. That way, no one can come up and claim to me, your mod did X, your mod did Y. Because this is my mod. Well, Jack, remember I say, you know, there's a certain level of reasonability. You know, I don't mind people trying to entertain themselves as long as they're not being abusive to me or anyone else in the chat. You see, if someone's not being abusive to other chatters and they're not being abusive to me, you know, I tend to let things fly. But, you know, and I don't tolerate spam. But, you know, other than that, you know, you're a chatter. You're here for a good time. You want to get to know me. So, you know, interacting's the best way to fucking do it. Well, spam gets you kicked out, and attacking other people in chat gets you kicked out, and being abusive to me tends to get you kicked out. But, you know, honest questions, I'm always fine with them. Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Back when it was a good place to live at one time, generally. Now, I grew up in a rough neighborhood, and, you know, your main concern at night was getting home alive, but it was home. Well, that's a good question. Do I like my life? Yes and no. You know, once again, I thought about how to frame that. There's aspects I like about my life, but it's kind of turned into a clusterfuck. Now, things were working out until I started having seizures. So, you know, that's the part where you have to say that, you know, I really don't like my life. But it's because of the seizures and how the seizures affected my life. So that is why I don't like my life. Now, the cool thing here is we all can carry a gun on our hip. You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, getting in trouble for defending yourself. We have what's called fighting word laws here. Like, say, if you were to come up and start being verbally abusive to me, I can pull back my fist and I'll legally, like, punch you in the nose. That's why it's called a fighting words, because your words are considered to be an assault. And because of that, then, you know, you're legally allowed to punch someone in the teeth. And it's what we call down here mutually consensual combat. You know, if you and I want to both agree to scrap and we scrap and one of us get hurt, well, that's your problem. Now, once again, you couldn't do serious, grievous injury to a downed opponent. But, you know, around here, you know, you can definitely bend some noses out of shape if people are disrespectful. Well, actually, I don't see any spam. Well, I like cat too. There's some spam. Well, you're going to have to like cat somewhere else for the moment because Catfish is down here asleep. Just saying. Now, I do live near Lake Cumberland, Kentucky. And Lake Cumberland is a man-made lake. And it looks really, really messed up. I mean, it don't look like any lake that you would normally see. And it's got a hydroelectric dam on it. And that's where I get my power. Well, yeah, the TVA is, the Tennessee Valley Association, is what made the lake and the dam. Now, the other interesting thing about it is underneath the lake, because it's a man-made lake, is towns. So they literally dammed off an area and they emptied out whole towns and flooded it to make the lake, because there wasn't enough of a water reservoir for a large population here. So yeah, I mean, now let me see if I can go to my maps. Probably best to do that on Google. Well, shit. Lake Cumberland. Now, where lives near me is a tourist town, because next to Lake Cumberland is the city of Somerset in Pulaski County, Kentucky. The maximum depth of the lake is 197 feet. Its area is 102.4 miles. That is not wrong. The area is 102 miles of the lake. Yep, 102.4. Oh well, they had some different pictures before, but apparently they've taken them down. Well, we got justice for Matt Labe in the chat. He's going to slander me. How many innocent families did I slander today? Well, let me see. It's 3:31 a.m. So I've not slandered any families yet. Who should I slander? That's a good question. Now, once again, Philip, who's behind that account, his boyfriend Matt needs justice. So if everyone want to take a prayer to Jesus for a minute to pray for Philip's boyfriend, so he may have justice, and one day his soul will be at peace. I've just tried not to laugh, everyone, because Philip hates me. Now, Philip is 30 years old and lives at home with his mommy. Yes, he does. Now, let me throw up some audio of Philip, because we have some audio of, where I have seizures, my hand trembles a little bit, and sometimes it is hell putting this passcode in. That's one thing I hate. Usually I do YouTube with this device, and I rarely have this device not be the camera. And I always remember why. Because it takes so damn long for this thing to do anything. This is an Obama phone. And as I said, I was just trying to get to a quick video to play some audio. And it's just, well, my idea of doing this quickly just is not working out. Oh well, we learn by doing. I'm glad I'm high, put it that way. I have more videos than I thought. Oh man, I just saw a video of a pizza. Ah yes, 2 years ago. God, how time flies. Philip Greenwald makes accusations. Well, hello everyone. Well, this is Philip Greenwald, my new lolcow. And he's not big enough for the main channel, but for Roger Brown Reacts, he's just the right size. Yes, that's Philip.
Might be a little too much, however, Maya has pushed me to this point. If I didn't have to deal with her, I would just stick to politics and music. But I can't do that. The fact is, I am part of a movement.
He is a part of a movement, he says.
A movement which I don't claim to be. Not the leader, the face of that movement. Some say I'm the leader, but I'm not.
The face of a movement. This is Philip Greenwald. He is 25 years, no, I think he's 20, excuse me. He just had a birthday. He's 26 years old. He lives with his mother. He doesn't try to get any form of gainful employment. And he once upon a time was a Playmate Tessie mod for, I believe, a day. And this is his 9th video of the day. Now, Philip, he's a lolcow. I mean, he was born to be a lolcow. He doesn't try to find a job. You know, but beneath that mind right in here, he actually thinks that he's going to make a living off YouTube, making about 40 views.
I was just lucky enough to get out of her cult before things got too extreme. Which things are getting too extreme. Let's face it. She's now embracing an extremist movement started by a neo-Nazi.
Yes, he is accusing Playmate Tessie, a 19-year-old internet troll on YouTube, yes, of being a National Socialist.
Milo Yiannopoulos. That's where Wigtail started. Whatever the hell it is, I don't care what it's called. I'll tell you what.
Now, Philip, I can get a message now to Milo Yiannopoulos if you like. Because my former co-host, Grace Thorpe, she has been on Milo Yiannopoulos' program.
I call that movement, Wigtail or whatever, I'll tell you what I call it, terrorism. I call it terrorism.
Yes, he is accusing Playmate Tessie, a 19-year-old internet troll, of being a terrorist with her trolling.
Hi, Stella.
I mean, Philip, as we like to call him, or Philip, I mean, he long ago has lost the plot. And this... Now, Stella, I know you may get out of here real quick, but I'm going to fix 777's little red wagon. And I would like you to be around now and then because I think you'll enjoy it. And Stella, I've missed you.
This is why, I mean, he has been my main source of amusement lately. Like I say, 9 videos today. And as you can see, he has 163 subscribers. And in 4 hours, he got 46 views on mostly people that watch Playmate Tessie that like to troll him. You know, we have Anna here. Lead by example, access much. And this Roger Brown guy. Philip, you are addicted to YouTube.
Now, there is a secret. Now, does any of you watch IP2? Now, there is a YouTube channel called Papa Greenie. He has over 4,000 subscribers, and he is the top clip channel for IP2. Now, this is how Papa Greenie got his name. Because I know who Papa Greenie really is, and he and I together used to troll Philip Greenwald. And Papa Greenie would pretend to be Philip's father. And that's how the Papa Greenie channel got its name. From pretending to be Philip's father. And it was some of the funniest YouTube you have ever seen in your life.
And apparently this one he's got kind of a supporter. And another fellow says, you need to listen to yourself. Get out now, leave her alone. And then another person wants to boycott Philip. Now, Papa Greenie, and that's the name of his channel, Papa Greenie, has a channel to where he parodies Phil. And it's been very, very funny. And like I say, it's been my main source of amusement on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to go over the rest of his crazy-ass accusations. But yes, he is accusing Maya West, Playmate Tessie, of being a terrorist. Now, everyone, the war between Papa Greenie and Philip Greenwald is hilarious. And I do recommend...
Philip, do I have to find the Papa Greenie video of where he puts your hands up there and you're making the faces? I mean, it was some of the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life as a YouTube creator. And I am proud to have been a part of it all. Philip, we have video of you jumping up and down, screaming, praying to Jesus that Maya West is unalive. And he doesn't use the word unalive. And you're jumping up and down, saying that you wished Maya would expire. It's just, you did not use that flowery word that I did. Hello, Suzie. Well, actually, Philip Greenwald's on his sock account and wanted to be mouthy, and there's nothing else to do. So that's why I was breaking out some video to introduce him to the rest of the world. Now, Suzie, you and I have business. Summer snuck out today. She ran under my feet. I chased her. She's in heat. She ran under the house and ran straight to 2 male feral cats and engaged in girl stuff. When you asked me to name the next girl kitty after you, that girl kitty may have been conceived today. It depends if it took. But yes, you asked to have the next one named after you, and my little slutty buddy Summer ran out under my feet. I chased her, and she ran right under the house and had her way with them, and then I caught her and got her back in the house. So, once again, little Suzie could be dividing in Summer's belly right now. I hope not. You know, my big hope is it didn't take. But, you know, but it's serendipity you're here. So I know it did. Because God wishes to laugh at me further. God is not done having a good time at my expense. So you being here now is an omen that tells me that cat is pregnant. Oh, yeah. Now the father is one of two. Now, one of them does not have a tail. He is orange and white, and I call him Celeborn, after the Lord of the Rings elf. Now, his brother also got a hold of Summer. He's black and white, and I call him Sauron. Now, Sauron has a tail, and Celeborn doesn't. So, if the kitties come out with no tails, because Summer doesn't have a tail, I'll know that Celeborn is the daddy. Now, if a lot of them come out with tails, I'll know Sauron is the daddy. Well, he's a Manx, just like Summer. They're not related to each other, but you know, it's genetic. You know, like many of my kitties here don't have tails, and Celeborn doesn't have a tail, and neither does Summer. So that's how I know if they all happen to have no tail, that Celeborn's going to be the daddy. If we have kitties with tails, it's going to be Sauron's the daddy. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's my life. And I sat for like 4 hours right next to the hole that she ran under the house in. And when she ran back out, I grabbed her real quick and got her back in the house. She fought me all the way. I mean, my cat is a slut. But we had done really well on keeping her away from the boys. But she was determined to date. So yeah, that's what I did today. Shaking my fucking head. I mean, my main goal in life is to not have any more cats. Just saying. But, you know, and I've been real good about it so far, but Summer, on the other hand, she's something else. She's middle-aged, too. I mean, she's not young, either. And she's just such a tramp. Running around with younger boys and... So, yeah, I'm kind of laughing at myself. You'll see him around here, you know, when I'm doing lives. You know, this year, it'll be outside a lot during the day. And you'll get to see him then. You know, I've been taking like 2 4-hour sleeps. It's like almost 4 o'clock here now. I'll crash from like 5 till 9 or 5 till 8. And then I'll get up and start doing. Now, we're going to have rain tomorrow afternoon. So there's really ain't much for me to do. So I'll probably have another live stream. It's just I'll probably play some audio or something for it. Because, you know, I'm kind of doing my talk out part right here. After all, it's the middle of the night. Well, 23, now, for a cat, that's very old. I mean, the one I grew up with, she lived 19 years. Literally to the week of her birth. And she passed in 2001. And that was actually hilarious. I mean, some YouTubers, you know, when you do YouTube enough, you know, people will slander you. I mean, one person was trying to say, I killed the family dog. We never had a dog. We had a cat. That we didn't get the cat until I was like 12. And as I said, the cat lived 19 years. So the cat passed when I was in my 30s and already had moved into this farm. I mean, I had already moved out of the house. But yes, I mean, that's the kind of shit they do to YouTubers. I mean, yes, supposedly I killed the family pets when the family pet, we had a cat. And as I said, it was still alive for years after I moved out of the house. Oh, there he is again. Actually, I can get plenty of pussy. Now, currently, I'm accused of sleeping with Truthfully Trisha. Yes. Yes, currently I am being accused of sleeping with the lovely Trisha. Now, Trisha is going to come out here and visit me at some time. Yes, the lovely Trisha. You see that, Philip? That's the lovely, Truthfully Trisha. She has over 50,000 subscribers, Philip. And you know what? I'm going to have 50,000 subscribers at some point because I'm going to start doing a lot more streaming. And I'm going to do some fun-ass shit while I'm streaming. I'm just turning over my audience a little bit. That's the whole purpose of the lives I've been doing lately. I'm starting to attract a younger, more male demographic, which will be a whole lot better for the content that I intend on doing. Because one thing that I am going to do is launch a Warhammer 40K channel. Yes, in fact, it's on this device right here, and it's all set up and ready to go. And all I got to do is start shooting videos for it. And that's coming pretty soon. And once again, a lot of the topics that I want to do is going to resonate a little bit more with a male crowd. You know, I'm tired of talking all the drama crap, even though some of it can be really entertaining. But the evil women creators on YouTube, they're like fucking unreal. I mean, seriously. Well, yeah, classic. You know, apparently we're all sleeping with Trisha. Apparently. Now, supposedly Trisha was snuck over here this last weekend and was with me. Now, for fun, since they were putting that out, I didn't upload over the weekend. Because, I mean, they literally make up fake lies and then they each start biting on it and believing it and then feeding into it. I mean, I'm her mod. I don't even have her phone number currently. Now, I do have Grace Thorpe's phone number. Yes, I do. And she's 21 years old and a very beautiful young lady. And her father is running her channel into the ground. So I am going to save her from herself. And once again, and I'll probably co-host with her on occasion. No, Michael, I'm not friends with Cynthia Beaumont. In fact, Cynthia Beaumont hates my guts. Truthfully, Cynthia Beaumont hates me. In fact, Cynthia Beaumont probably hates me more than anyone else. Because I was a part of the conspiracy that got rid of her being covered on YouTube. Because I covered Cynthia Beaumont, and all the other people that covered Cynthia Beaumont we all got together and just starved her out. And now she has to make 1 million sucker shorts a day to make her rent. Well, Michael, she bought most of her subs. See, that's the thing about Cynthia Beaumont. She destroyed her channel, and we encouraged her to do that. Yeah, she was always buying a large amount of subs. And after she got that big $200,000 payout after murdering her husband, now, once again, there's a little bit of secrets I can let you in on. Now, Hamber, a channel on YouTube, that is the channel that got me to start doing YouTube. She has all of Cynthia Beaumont's deleted shit from the murdering the husband phase, all archived. All those videos still exist in a hidden location that I could probably get access to if I ever needed it. Because I was Hamber's protege. And like I said, myself and the other creators, we basically starved Cynthia out because we knew she would run through that 200K like it was water. And that's how she got the 600,000 subscribers. Because it certainly ain't for her views. So yeah, I mean, but the funny thing is most of the people I covered in the past, I'm good with now. The two that I'm not is Cynthia Beaumont and Amberlyn Reed. Because Amberlyn Reed lived near me. And that's how I got conned into doing YouTube. Because I could debunk her bullshit. Oh no, my family were traitors that fought for the Confederacy. But you know what, Philip? My family also fought for the Revolution. Yes. Philip? Oh. And does it matter what anyone's ancestor here did? You see, this is what I think's funny about Philip, is he thinks that somehow I'm going to be shamed because I had family members fight for the Confederacy. A large portion of them died on the battlefield. I mean, nobody in this chat is responsible for anything or any view an ancestor had. That's what North Koreans do. You see, this is why we know that Philip is part North Korean. Because, nothing but communists try to say, you're the great-great-great-grandson of so-and-so. You must be a criminal. That's what North Koreans do. No, history rhymes. It doesn't repeat itself. And it's all rhyming again. Because you see, people with money love power. That's why they try to get positions in government. Because they get off on their little power jack-off. And once again, with the internet and modern technology, they want to get so far into your life that they control everything. Yeah, actually, believe it or not, what you're on right now, what I'm recording this with, is a 3G burner phone. Now, this is an iPhone 11. But yes, currently we are doing YouTube on an ancient 3G burner phone. You know, back when 3G used to be the shit. But the funny thing is, this 3G phone has a better sound quality than any of these other phones. Even the expensive ones. Because I can record unbelievable shit using this phone. In fact, I can make music. I can make rants into music. And I will show you. Well, shit. I don't know why it hides that playlist. Yep, I don't know why they hide that one. This is one of the songs that I created. Now, the singer is Adrastia. Now, she wasn't intending on singing, but you'll hear it.
Somebody believe me. I'm not lying. 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 My family is abusive. No one will ever believe me. Because they're abusive and they're lying about it. I didn't lie. I never received that property. I never received anything. They lied. They lied and everybody is always going to believe them. They're lying. They're lying. God help me. They're lying. 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 Please, God, somebody hear me. Somebody believe me. They're lying. They're lying. They are lying. They're lying. They are 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 lying. They're lying. They are 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 lying. They lied. They lied. They lied. They're abusive and they lie about it. And nobody will ever believe me because they lie about it. They are abusive. Please, God, somebody hear me. They're abusive. They're abusive. Somebody please hear me. Please, God, hear me. My family is abusive and nobody will ever believe me because they say they're not. They're lying.
Yes, and that was, believe it or not, the song's name was They Are Lying. Yes, that's Mary Barone singing. By the way, she got away with murder. I'm not kidding. Yeah, she got away with murder, and her boyfriend went down for it. This one's called Royce Rage. Now you see, this individual addressed you. Now, none of that was clipped together. All of that were one continuous long fucking rants that I just lined up properly to the music. You know, basically I queued up the music to where the music would fit to the words, and I just let her rants go. But the interesting thing is that can only be done on this 3G phone. This iPhone can't do it. This 4G phone, it can't do it either. The only thing that I can produce this audio properly with is this little 3G phone we're here, because it has a better recording setup on it than the modern devices that they're making right now. Well, like I said, you know, people ask, they wonder, and I showed you. And that was only 2 songs. I mean, I got another 10 songs of Adrasty if anybody wants to complain. And that's just that album. and I'm already making the second album with 2 songs on it. Well, actually, I'm being an ass. That's kind of what's going on. I mean, I'm good at answering questions too, so yeah, you know what's kind of going on is I'm being an ass. Okay, so we've now settled that I am being an ass, so let's go with it. Philip, are you still here in chat? I feel like being an ass. Well, we're in Kentucky, and I don't have a chainsaw. Now, I do have a practice katana. Yes. Now, this is my practice katana, and we're in Kentucky. So, I mean, you could have, like, the Kentucky practice katana whacking, but, you know, you don't do much massacre with this because it's made not to kill people. It's made to stun them. So, you know, you could get the good Kentucky whacking, but that's about it. Well, being an ass is encouraged. I mean, if someone can be funny, I'm all for it. Why do I want to kill? Okay, I was going to say, it's like, I mean, the amount of, now once again, it's a professional troll. I mean, when someone says, why do you want to kill? I mean, there's like so many ways I can go with this. I mean, it's like a complete smorgasbord of trolling. Now, this is where it's always good to ask a question or answer a question with a question. Why not? I mean, I turn on the news and I listen to people that try to manipulate me say dumb shit. I have to be careful of what I say because of terms of service and try to be funny at the same time. I mean, you know, when I look on the TV or I look on the internet, or if I just look on the internet cable junk, I mean, why would anyone not want to would be more of the apt question. Actually, just a moment. Now, you gave me the prompt. Just a second. Oh, I like the nice cloud. Just saying. I don't usually get to see it on camera, but it made a nice cloud. Well, actually, Patricia, I'm not a Christian. I'm a pagan. I mean, I'm not obligated to anyone else. Just saying. I just have to keep my oaths. You know, I just have to not be false. So, you know, that it's kind of all I have to really do. I mean, there's like only 8 holy days during the year, and I mean, I can just make a fire and call it done. You know, I can just pick up a few twigs and light it up and, you know, say I'm good for the, you know, another month and a half. Well, good, Zach. Have a good day. Like I say, it's the middle of the night, and I think Jesus is asleep, just saying. You know, I probably need to be asleep, but you know, as I said, I'll go to sleep about 5 in the morning. You know, sleep until about 8 in the morning, maybe 9 in the morning, and then I'll get up, and it's gonna rain tomorrow afternoon, so I'll grab the backpack and I'll walk to the store, and not sure what I'll eat tomorrow. Not much you can get at the dollar store, but I will get something. I could get a pizza, but I'd have to walk 7 miles. And that's what I'm thinking about. It's like, you know what? A pizza sounds good for a change. But once again, if I go get a pizza, it's a 7-mile walk. Now, the 7 miles isn't the problem. It's supposed to rain sometime tomorrow afternoon. So, the 7 miles don't daunt me, but 7 miles and getting rained on, that does kind of daunt me. It's 4:14 a.m. here. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's what I'm here for, actually. Just to talk with and hang out, meet some new friends, get some new subscribers, and, you know, be honest that I'm a troll. But I'm a really good troll. And I'm really smart and I speak on different subjects. Now, once again, right now I'm one of the more slandered individuals in the drama community. I mean, you wouldn't believe the lies that go around about me, but, you know, once again, being an internet troll, I will feed into them a lot. Now, once again, there's one YouTuber that likes to scream this or that, so I'll, like, before I do a video, where's the shirt at? I'll, put on this shirt. Now, I didn't for this live, but what I've been doing is every time I do YouTube, I put on this shirt. And then there's this one fat Harridan, he's wore the same shirt for a week. But then, you know, once again, I just put this on usually when I do YouTube. I was just kind of high and didn't think to today, so I'll start putting this shirt on. You know, every time I do YouTube for like another 10 days or so, you know, I'll take off whatever shirt I'm wearing and put this one on, and then she'll make another video. He's wore the same shirt for 10 days. Well, trolling isn't necessarily wrong. And it isn't always bad. Once again, as long as you're not being hurtful or disrupting a program, a little bit of fun's all good. And, you know, every now and then when it's slow, you know, you can get a deep one-on-one fun. You can have an entertaining time. Now, I find that women YouTubers tend to be bad sports. Just saying. You know, I love women, but, you know, put it this way. They're not really good when the joke's on them. Just put it that way. Oh. Well, you ask, who is Paula? Remember I talked about those people slandering me. Her channel's called Jeremy's Mom. Now, once again, you would feel, you know, you're going to regret asking who fucking Paula is. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to troll you by telling you who fucking Paula is. Paula is truthfully Trisha's stalker. She was a reactor, much like I used to be. Except she went to the dark side of the force. And it just became about harassment and bullying to her. Now, her and another male YouTuber recently swatted Truthfully Trisha, trying to have her killed. We got the audio of the SWAT, and the male voice was saying that he killed everyone at the house. They were trying to get the cops to come in with guns a-blazing. You know, they literally tried to kill Trisha over YouTube. And I'm going to bring down their fucking channels. And I am going to be inner-fucking-taining while I do all of this shit. And I am going to engage and fuckery beyond anything that you have ever seen in YouTube. Because besides the drama community, I come from a community called the Boit. And it is the bottom of YouTube, is what Boit stands for. If you go all the way down the algorithm, you finally get to where I am, the Boit. Now, I tend to be the gateway into the Boit, and it is a dark, evil place, full of dark, evil people, like Melton John. Melton John is a faux trans person that threatens to murder me on, well, a ritual basis. I have to dodge around terms of service because the horrible shit that he says, I cannot repeat. And there's a lot of other creators in this Boit that, you know, they do the swatting and all of the evil things. Now, once again, I mentioned earlier, the cops don't SWAT where I live. They can't do that to me. Now, Jimbo Collins, a YouTuber on a channel called The Stand, he married a 12-fucking-year-old. And I called him out on his past to where he married a 12-year-old. Then after he got rid of the 12-year-old, he abducted a 15-year-old. He couldn't marry her, took her out of state, and kept her out of state until her parents agreed to not prosecute him. And I called him out on all of this, and he showed up here last May, and we almost had a gunfight right here on YouTube. On the Ernie Shell Lightning Tiger program with about 500 people watching. Yep, and he ended up calling the cops on himself and running off. None of that was a joke. You know, once again, you may think that I'm trolling you. No. We just got the battery warning light. We'll have to go here in a little bit. But no, what I told you is complete fact. No trolling at all. This is a part of my YouTube life. But yes, I mean, there's receipts of some of it on YouTube. I mean, there's hundreds of witnesses. But, you know, like I say, you know, a lot of times when I cover drama, I actually cover people that are dangerous people. And now and then, me and them tee it up because, you know, I have a policy. You may see my address at times spammed in my chat. And my policy is, if anybody's bad enough to come down that road, they're going to get some. You know, I grew up in a rough neighborhood in Cincinnati, and I used to sell weed and be a thug. Well, before we go, the cat has come to see us. He had a good nap through the rest of this live when he popped away. And now he's come up here to get pettings again and get loved upon. He's 10 months old. And he's just an affectionate little boy. But yes, I mean, there's all sorts, but I mean, the amount of slander I get. But Paula is one of these evil creators. And I've been taking on Paula in a lot of them, and they slander me and make dumb little memes. But the fact of the matter is I will get more people in this live than they will. Now, the funny thing is, if you subscribe to the channel and you look at my lives, they're going around saying, I am buying subscribers and I am buying views. Now, I'm sure that there'll probably be 2,000 to 6,000 views on this when we're done here in a few minutes. But yes, but because they can't get views, because see, they can't entertain an audience. They've got their own little cult. And only their little cult watches their channels. But they're trying to bring down my channel. They're trying to bring down Trish's channel. And it's not going to work for them. Well, Chris, we're going to go here. Well, subscribe. I mean, these are the people that I cover and fight with. And some of the stuff is on. Matter of fact, I've got a short where I'm calling him out. Out in my driveway going, where the fuck are you, Jimbo? But yes, Classic is also a mod of Truthfully Trish's. And he gets slandered too. But they try to get into people's lives. You know, they try to accuse him of false things, trying to hurt his marriage. I mean, there's a whole group of women on YouTube that have lost the fucking plot. And that's who Paula is. And, well, we've got the battery warning light, so I better not go in anymore. But all I got to say is like and subscribe, and you're going to find out a whole lot more, because when I do topical lives, they will be about the topic. You know, this is just a general get to know me live. You know, you can see that, you know, I'm a decent dude. But, you know, I can talk about anything. And as I said, I've got a dozen channels, and I do a variety of interests. And, of course, I got a dozen kitties, and you'll find all sorts of adorable little kitty videos and shorts on my various channels. Oh, man. You know what? I'm kind of thinking that this cat will make a good pillow tonight. Actually, he'll lay on top of me. You know, in reality, I'm the one that's going to end up the pillow. But yes, me and this little guy here, we're going to go to sleep. Aren't we, Kathy? Right here in just a little bit. I'm going to smoke a bowl. I'm going to have me some iced tea. And then I'm going to catch myself a few hours sleep. Then I'm going to get up, and then I'm going to start my day. Well, yeah, Classic. That's the thing with that, though, is I'm not, because it would hurt Trisha, I'm not talking about Robin or Boho, but both of them have lost the plot, too. Well, I'm a decent person. I mean, occasionally I can be overboard, but I'm generally empathetic enough to know it. Generally. Now and then, you know, I do occasionally need a reminder. I'm not always the cleanest human being when it comes to morality in YouTube. Because once again, you know, these evil people on YouTube, a lot of it's going to come down to taking down channels. They falsely report this channel left and right. And, you know, I'm just going to make sure that their channels are the ones that go down and not mine. But this is outside of my regular content. There's going to be these behind-the-scenes bullshit, and every now and then it'll flare up into a live stream where I'll have to address dumb shit. But, of course, I will frame it in an entertaining way. Now, earlier I did talk about the 3 girlfriends that I got from YouTube. Now, I'm leaving this as a teaser, and I'm not shit. This isn't a troll either. 2 of the 3 were dominatrixes. The first one, the relationship only lasted 10 days because she was the one that was, remember I said it was like the 3 bears with the porridge? She was the one that was completely crazy. Now, the second one, she was a professional dominatrix. I was her boyfriend, not her client. She was the one that was half crazy. And we'll talk about her in another live. You know, where I talk about all the slander I get. And I think, you know what? I think I'll make that my next topic. Yes, I will talk about the 3 girlfriends that I got on YouTube since I've started YouTube in the last several years. Now, the last one was only a little crazy, and she was not a dominatrix, and I thought she was just right. But unfortunately, a little crazy was enough. But yes, my next live, I will talk about my love life on YouTube. And that will be one to where everyone gets to laugh at me. Now, actually, they're pretty hot. You know, they're about my age, but now, I'll show a picture and no doubt get a privacy complaint. Because the dominatrix girlfriend still stalks me on YouTube. If I show her picture on YouTube, I get a privacy complaint. And I will show that picture of her and her daughter. Her daughter was a dominatrix too, by the way. Well, I've got to go right now because we're at 1%. And if I don't go now, this live will just be stuck and ended and gone and all that fun shit. But yes, I have to go right now or this live's going to get glitched. Now, thank you for coming. Glad to meet everyone. I hope you subscribed. In my next one, you get to laugh at me. And have a good night.